If you're a federal worker and your retirement plan is currently giving off an attitude of hopefully we will, and you'd like to change that to we know we will, then our next guest may be the help that you're looking for. Len R. Martinez has 25 years of successfully coaching and helping his clients navigate that crucial part of life, and he joins us now. Good morning, Len. How are you doing?
Good morning. Terrific. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for asking. So how have exactly federal employees successfully navigated retirement compared to those in the private sector?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that we see, and I've been doing this for quite some time, specifically in the federal space, one of the biggest things that we see that is really great is that federal employees tend to be really great savers. The vast majority of the ones that have taken the time to do planning with us it's really great what they do with their money over the years. Their benefits help them do that, of course, but they're really good at it, better than my typical outside client. But here's the challenge. Federal retirement benefits are complicated. They're not like private sector plans. They're not even like other plans such as TRS or maybe a state-based plan. Now, the good news is federal benefits are some of the most generous out there, but only if you understand how to fully take advantage of them. If you make mistakes when you're electing your retirement benefits, there are things that cannot be changed. Without the right guidance, it's surprisingly easy to leave money on the table. And I've seen the worst case scenario. Sometimes I can help, sometimes I can't. You really have to understand how to take full advantage of your benefits. I help federal employees leverage their pension, their TSP, their Social Security, so that they can turn the strong savings into a reliable, lasting income through retirement.
Yeah, so how can federal employees maximize their benefits from the thrift savings plan to ensure, a secure retirement?
Right, that's the big one. When people retire, we're very worried about how they're going to leverage and or protect that TSP money. TSP offers very limited choices inside the platform, and you're fully responsible as the employee for making those choices, managing that money. Now, a lot of people assume that TSP itself will help them. They are there to answer the phone, but there's a couple of things. One, tsp.gov can be very frustrating to use. Anyone that's tried knows, and I help a lot of people with it, and we still run into problems. And I guess the thing that does surprise people is that TSP themselves, it's against their rules to give you investment or tax advice. And that's very important because that's what you need when you're retiring. So if you stay in TSP when you retire, you're your own financial advisor. That's where we come in. I'll give you a real world example. There was a gentleman I met once who was in an ELF fund, and he thought because it's an ELF fund, it's safe. Well, several of the ELF funds, especially today with the new ones, have 99% of their holdings in stocks. Risky stocks, really, when you consider the fact that they are CS and I. This gentleman had lost 20% of his money when we met him, and then when we tried to help him, he found out he didn't have his PIN, he couldn't get into the system. Anyway, needless to say, it's a very expensive lesson we learned. You need to know exactly what's happening with your money every step of the way and all the time.
Yeah, you mentioned surprises earlier on. Also, misconceptions come in with a number of different things, in fact, especially with retirement plans. So what are some common misconceptions federal employees have about their retirement benefits, and how can these be clarified?
One of the biggest ones that we see is most employees think when they move their TSP money out of TSP that they're going to have to pay taxes on the entire thing. That's simply incorrect. When you move money out of TSP, if you do it correctly, it's considered a rollover, and it's just like working with any private sector fund. That money will not be taxed. What you're doing is you're essentially, and we do this hundreds of times a year, what you're doing is you're simply moving that money and giving yourself access to many other options in the investment industry. And the reason most of my clients move is because they want access to advice. They want someone to help manage that money for them. Another misconception that I find that's interesting is, for some reason, a lot of people think that their medical insurance when they leave the federal government is going to go way up. There are changes in the way it's paid, but the federal government subsidizes about 72% of that medical insurance. That'll continue after you retire. The issue with medical insurance, FEHB, Federal Employee Health Benefits, the issue with FEHB is that you have to make your retirement selections correct, or you risk later in life losing that coverage for you or your spouse. There are mistakes that can be made that are not fixable.
Yeah, Len, thank you so much for your time this morning. Great information. We appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
A pleasure. Now, to benefit from LRM Retirement and Leonard Martinez's 25 years of expertise and turn your retirement plan into a We Know We Will setup, visit lrmretirement.com.